It's time for the STL United Soccer Show, St. Louis's only all-soccer program.
Oh, what a finish.
Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm Tom Schwartz, and I want to tell you this show is brought to you by Mike Smallwood, attorney at law, 314-909-0401, MikeSmallwood.net. Tell him you heard him about it. Tell him you heard about him on the soccer show. Hey, Michael, how you doing, baby?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Just back from a little vacation.
Yeah,
Hard to
tell me
get
about
focused.
it. Sounded nice. Sounded nice.
Yeah,
Happy St. Patty's Day, by the way.
And we're both sporting our green.
You gotta wear the green.
Gotta wear
I have the
green.
Panathinaikos shirt too, so it's still a soccer show. Panathinaikos with the little three-leaf clover. So
yeah, mine's
we
kind
got
of
everything covered.
Mine's kind of I think this might be a hurling shirt or something from my pal Mike Dolan. Thank you very much. We are joined today by our good pal, Dr. Jack Eisenbeis. You might remember that we spoke to Jack before his group took a trip down to Honduras to help some folks down there. Jack, I'm going to let you talk about it. Welcome, Dr. Jack Eisenbeis.
Good morning, Tom. Thank you. Thanks for having me on KFNS.
Our pleasure. Hey, Jack, briefly bring us up to speed here. Briefly tell me about your group that goes down to Honduras, where you go, and then we'll get into the meat of the issue.
We have a group of physicians, and our group specifically are otolaryngologists, ear, nose, and throat doctors. And
Jack, no big words on this show. This is a soccer show. A lot of guys heading the balls all those years.
All right. We like a lot of snot and wax.
Now that's what I'm talking about, right,
Right
Michael?
to the point.
Right to the point.
No sugarcoating.
So what we do, we do take care of wax and snot problems in Honduras, but we take care of things that are a lot more complicated than that. But our group, and it runs about 10, 15 people, and we've been doing it for 10 years. We go to the center of Honduras, the department or state called Olancho, and the towns there, Juticalpa and Catacamas, there's hospitals in those two towns that we have been going to, and we provide ear, nose, and throat care to the people that live in the center of Honduras who really have no other access to take care of problems of the ear, nose, and throat.
And looking at the pictures, I don't know, Michael, if you've seen any of these pictures. I like I said, I'm on vacation. I've not sent them out. But it's not just ear, nose, and throat problems that they don't get taken care of. These folks have nothing.
And that is right. And we pull, although the towns have about 30,000 to 40,000 people in these two particular towns, we pull from an area of about 200,000 people, and many of these people will travel a half a day, a whole day. They'll take a boat, they'll take a horse, they'll walk, or they'll take a bus to get to see us in the clinics and then possibly have an operation.
And once again, you've been doing this for 10 years. It's essentially a group of St. Louis University doctors and nurses.
Yes, we have a group of doctors from St. Louis University who lead the brigade teams. We take medical students who are bilingual who do our translating for those of us who don't speak Spanish, and we take an ear, nose, and throat resident doctor at St. Louis University who's doing his training. So a big part of their career at St. Louis U is to be able to go down to a third world country and provide care and have this opportunity.
And Jack was on the show before the trip, and the point was, what's this got to do with soccer? But we raised some funds and some equipment for you to take. What kind of impact did that have?
Well, first of all, I have to thank again everybody who contributed to our trip. It was unbelievable. We had, and Tom, you had said a few things on this radio show, and it came like the loaves and fishes. We had, from Lourdes Parish, we had over 100 soccer uniforms that were donated that we took down. Tracy Cavallini was outstanding in helping that, and Dave Smitty brought all these over, and we put all these together for the kids. And then Pete Spanos at Veta gave me more shirts than I could ever imagine, and also gave us gold, which was soccer balls that we took down there. And now I want to mention also that the people at Lourdes gave us soccer shoes. And man, the hair stand up on the back of my neck. When I got that bag out with soccer shoes, the eyes on some of these kids and the eyes on some of the people down there, they don't have soccer shoes. That was an unbelievable thing for them to receive.
And these weren't new soccer shoes.
Oh, no. These were the used soccer shoes that had been through a couple of cycles of the teams at Lourdes, and they had a soccer shoe exchange program, and they decided to give us what they had.
Awesome. So the shirts they reacted to the clothing, but the shoes were.
Yeah.
I mean that really surprised me actually. But if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, when you drive down, we have about a 3-hour to 4-hour drive from the capital to this town, and all along the way you're passing groups of people playing soccer. A lot of them barefoot on ground that looks like it's been run on by barefoot day and night. It's so smooth. Or sometimes they're just playing in the weeds. But you see soccer all over the country when you're down there.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that's a natural hookup for us. I'm sure everybody knows this feeling when you do something good for other people. It's just double. And what you guys are doing, as I've told my friends, is that you're doing it for us. Your group is doing it for us.
Yes. It is. Our group is really looking. We go down there and we try to pay it forward, do some nice things for the people down in Honduras. But essentially, you just feel so blessed and so fortunate when you come back because of all the things that we have and how great it is for us here in the States. But when you are down in Honduras, the one thing that I really is remarkable, and pretty much everybody who's gone down with me has said, these are the happiest people. They don't have anything, and they're just really happy people.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
And they don't hate you because you're an American.
Oh, they love us, and we go down, and obviously we stand out because the population of Honduras is all from the Mayan, American Indian ancestry, and is mixed with the European ancestry, and that's the 90% of the population of Honduras. But when we get there, they know we're there, and they are really pleased we're coming.
Okay, folks, we got to go to a break. We're going to be back with Jack, and he's going to tell us about some changes that he's observed in Honduras over these past 10 years. You're listening to The Soccer Show, the St. Louis United Soccer Show, KFNS, KFNS.com.
Now, back to the STL United Soccer Show on 590 The Fan, KFNS, and KFNS.com.
This segment brought to you by J. Todd Dean, MD, psychiatrist for the individual patient. 314-644-6884. That's 314-644-6884.
Hey, you're back on The Soccer Show. Me, Tom Schwartz, my man Mike Mickler.
Yes, sir.
And our special guest, Dr. Jack Eisenbeis. Hey, Jack, we're talking about Honduras. You've been going 10 years. Tell me the biggest changes you've noticed.
Well, there's all sorts of changes. But one second, let me put a shout-out to Dan Flynn. Dan Flynn at the United States Soccer Federation provided us with soccer uniforms, sort of a warm-up uniform for the official U.S. team. And we used those as part of our get-together at O.B. Clark's to help do a little of our fundraising to get all of our
O.B.
supplies.
Clark's. Where O.B. Clark? Michael, did you ever hear O.B. Clark's?
I have heard of O.B. Clark's.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Soccer
Sorry to
house
interrupt.
spot.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Dan, when we're giving you this credit. But
Well, O.B. Clark's, I think that's the center of the universe.
Center of the universe. Very good.
So we had these fantastic uniforms. We used a lot of them here in St. Louis, and some people are running around here. But now also we took uniforms down there. And one of the local men's teams that's affiliated with the hospital that we went down there, we were able to provide their team with these uniforms.
Awesome.
And they play in a league there in the town, and they were over the moon excited about that. So that's a shout-out to Dan Flynn.
And also, speaking of shout-outs, Ken Godat at Scott Gallagher gave us a bunch of very nice stuff, too.
That's right. We put those soccer uniforms on some kids down there as well. But let me tell you, the country has changed dramatically in 10 years. When we first went 10 years ago, there was no internet, there was no cell phones, there was no plastic. If you wanted a bottle, you drank it out of a returnable.
Whoa. No plastic.
No plastic.
Wow.
Well,
That's pretty amazing.
it's changed dramatically. And the country has really been struggling as of late because of the problems they're having with drugs in that country, and that wasn't a problem 10 years ago. It was not a country that's ever been overly safe, meaning that when you went to any place down there that has commerce or exchange, a gas station, you saw a Pepsi truck driving up the highway, there was always an individual who had some sort of automatic or sawed-off shotgun or some sort of gun standing right outside the Pizza Hut. You walk by someone with some sort of machine gun or shotgun. But the changes were not so much and those things. The changes is the sort of what's happened to the individual families and people there over the last 3 or 4 years, and that all has to do with drugs.
Explain that.
Well, drugs have gone into Mexico for years and packaged. They've been flown in there from the other countries in South America and Central America where they're made. And what's happened is there's the cartels and the crackdown in Mexico has dramatically made it more difficult for drugs to be brought into Mexico originally. So now many of the Central American countries, in the back parts of these countries, the woods, the hills, the mountains, planes are landing, dropping off drugs. The drugs are being organized, put on cars, trucks, transported across Honduras, across Guatemala, across Mexico into the United States. So the drugs, the kids in Honduras wasn't a real drug problem there 5 years or 10 years ago at all. But now this drug culture has changed everything. It's created violence for the people who are involved with trafficking the drugs and protecting their particular trade of these drugs. But inevitably, now that the drugs have shown up there, they're seeping into the younger population, just plain flat out to use the drugs. And that was really something that was not there before. So the country is crying out. The leadership in the country is not doing everything they need to do. So really the Catholic Church in many places is stepping up and saying, look, we have to make some changes here because our kids, they need another alternative. They need to be doing something besides falling into these these bad opportunities with drugs. So there's a man down in Honduras who Tom, this is probably my hero. His name is Padre Alberto. He's a wild character. He's in his early 60s. He's been in Honduras for over 30 years. I've never seen him without flip-flops and a cigarette in his mouth. Now, on the altar in church, he doesn't have a cigarette. But he's an incredible individual who his motto is don't worry and take care of the people that other people are not taking care of.
So he is not Honduran?
He is from Malta originally.
Malta?
Yes.
Like the Knights of Malta.
Like the Knights of Malta. But he became a Franciscan priest. He was in his 20s and sent to Toronto, Canada. And he was a Franciscan there, and they told him, you are going to Honduras. And so he ended up getting transferred to Honduras, and he has spent the last 35 years there. And particularly most of it right here in the center of Olancho in Juticalpa. And he has done phenomenal things for the people of Honduras. He has gotten involved in trying to take care of the people that are not taken care of. That means orphans, kids that are maybe a product of incest or some other reason that they may be left on the street. He built an orphanage.
Hey, let me ask you, how big of would you consider this a city that you go to? Is it a town? What?
It's a town by standards of the United States, but there are 30,000 people there. It's just a geographic area is not much more than a square mile by a square mile, because it's, people live right on top of one another, and most homes down there may only be, anywhere from 200 to 400 square feet.
Yeah, Jack has taken a bunch of pictures, and I have been a little bit lax. I will be putting those on our website so you can see it. It's tremendously moving stuff. We got about a minute left. When we come back, we're going to talk. I want to talk about more about Father
Alberto and really the cachet of Honduras when a lot of the third world, which is soccer. I want to tell you about soccer in Honduras.
Soccer. I like that. Michael, what do you think?
I like it. I think it fits the show well.
Pretty soon it'll be the Honduras soccer show.
For sure. I have a Honduras soccer jersey I should have worn.
Yeah. Well, it's St. Patty's Day. Is it green?
No, it's blue.
Hey, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about soccer in Honduras. You're listening to the St. Louis United Soccer Show. KFNS 590 The Fan, KFNS.com.
Now, back to the STL United Soccer Show on 590 The Fan, KFNS, and KFNS.com.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Tom Schwartz, and I want to tell you this segment is brought to you by our friends at the Olive Garden. 7 locations in the metro area. Tell them you heard about them on the Soccer Show. It's Tom Schwartz again. Mike Mickler sitting in with our friend Dr. Jack Eisenbeis. Michael, what are you taking out of this?
I think it's a great segment so far. Great work you're doing down in Honduras, really inspiring. It actually kind of reminds me of Honduras project we have at my school, SLU. We took about 8 seniors down there for a month for their senior project and work in an orphanage. So just some really good stuff down there. Very inspiring.
Who takes you down there?
The teacher's name is Charlie Merritt. He's a Spanish teacher. I think he teaches seniors mainly, and he used to teach sophomores, I think, but I don't think he does anymore. But they sell donuts and stuff like that all year to raise money, and always try to contribute to the Honduras table with the donuts.
And chocolate milk, no doubt.
Oh, gotta go.
Michael's a big
milk.
chocolate milk guy.
Chocolate milk and donuts go together well.
Good. Well, now there's a math teacher at St. Louis U High, Nick Elman.
Yes, Mr. Elman.
And he goes as well, doesn't he?
I think he does. Yeah, he does a lot of CSP stuff.
Yes, he's a great guy. His wife is a medical student at St. Louis University, Molly Potter Elman, and she has gone to Honduras with us a number of times.
Oh, Molly Potter. Oh, I know her.
Yeah, fantastic girl. Going to be an outstanding physician and has beautiful Spanish, so she's done a great job in Honduras. But, Tom, I want to tell you about the changes. We talked about how drugs have become a part of what's going on in Honduras, and that's where soccer fits in, because this Father Alberto I told you about has been trying to look at this particular problem and what can be done about it. And really the kids in Honduras need an outlet. They need somewhere to go. And this town of Juticalpa and Catacamas, these 2 largest towns in the center of Olancho, have soccer teams. They have the pro-level soccer team down in Honduras. But they don't have the A-level team, the premier team. And the reason is they don't have a stadium in these towns that the Premier League will play in. You come to our town, we play home here. We go to your town, play your stadium. If you don't have an adequate stadium, we can't bring our team and you can't be a part of the league. With this problem, Father Alberto said, we need to build a soccer stadium. So right now, it's been going on for 2.5 years. They've been building a 20,000-seat soccer stadium by hand.
I've seen the pictures. It is by hand.
It is by hand.
Ain't no cranes down there.
There's no cranes. There's a pile of sand on the ground, a pile of water, and a little mixer, and they pouring concrete on the ground, and they're shoveling it in a bucket and carrying it up. And
how many guys are involved in this project? Like if you would go there on a weekday and the people are working, how many people are working on it?
Well, there may be anywhere from 30 to 40 men working at one time in the heat of the day, carrying cement up and back, pouring it, mixing it, doing all this by hand for $3 a day.
Jeez.
The manual labor is intense. It's incredible. But Father Alberto wants to get this stadium built. He's worked very hard on it. It's about 2/3 of the way done, and it's a phenomenal opportunity to change the culture in these towns down there, because the pride and opportunities that are going to come through soccer for these kids and for the community to surround themselves around a team and to be a part of it. You know, the national team in Honduras, which all of you do know, played in the last World Cup, which was a huge accomplishment for them.
Right.
And they had made a commitment to play a game in Juticalpa catechumenes at the urging of Father Alberto. And they came to the town and they said, looked around and said, no, there's no facility here that's adequate for the national team to come play. So it was a great idea, but it went up in smoke, as per Father Alberto's words. But now, with this stadium being built, the national team has said, once it's finished, we will come and play the inaugural game there.
So this guy's doing it out of his own pocket?
Oh, no, he's not out of his own pocket. He's raised money. The current president of Honduras has been supportive and has provided some money for them. He raises money anywhere he really can. He's raised money in the United States.
Has he ever been here?
He has been here. He was here a couple years ago, and I think he's going to come here this June.
Oh, what do you think about that, Michael?
I think we'll have to set up a day at Obie Clark's or something.
And we'll have a big
Raise
event
some money.
for Father Alberto. I like him a lot.
But the other way he raises money is through sort of just the random event that men in Honduras would like to participate in. So they have sort of mild little gambling events and other sort of
gambling at the casino.
So other sort of random games and things that they do.
I wish you could see the smile on Jack's face because I don't think he's telling us the whole story.
So, well, he does everything he can to keep the ball rolling, to keep the employees that work hard here to try to do these things for him to be paid. It's amazing to watch the work that these gentlemen are down there doing and putting in a 12-hour day, and then I find out they're getting paid $3 a day.
What can you do? Can you live on $3 a day down there? Of course you can, because some people have to, and you do. But the diet down there is pretty simple and not a lot. Not a lot. It's rice and beans or tortillas and beans, and that's kind of what a lot of people are living off of. Okay, Jack, we got about a minute left in this segment. Let's talk about how people can get involved.
There's a lot of ways to get involved. The International Medical Assistance Foundation, which is at www.imedaf.org, is the foundation that we put together to help support our groups as we go down there. We have a website. You can go there. You can make a donation through the website if you'd like. Or you can just contact me and let me know that you want to get involved in some way. The ways to get involved back here at home is making a donation or making a donation of your old soccer equipment, things like that. Mario Castro is a pulmonologist, and he is a colleague of mine here in St. Louis. He left this morning at 6 o'clock to go down to the same hospital, to the same place. And I had some extra soccer jerseys and balls and things that were donated to us. I loaded him up with 2 duffel bags.
Nice.
Yeah, on Wednesday night, and he took them down there today. So those kind of donations, if you speak Spanish and you want to ever go to Honduras with us, that'd be an opportunity for you too.
Well, and we are, we weren't just joking about that. We will do something for Father Alberto because it just seems like a natural deal for us to be involved in.
It would be fantastic.
So, folks, just obviously pay attention. There are a number of things you can do. You can go to we'll have all this stuff on our website, stlunitedfc.net, and we'll be talking about it sort of as we do because we talk about things we like about. Are you going to stick around?
I can stick around for a while. Thanks.
All right, Jack's going to stick around. You're listening to the STL United Soccer Show. KFNS 590 The Fan, KFNS.com. We'll be right back.
Now, back to the STL United Soccer Show on 590 The Fan, KFNS, and KFNS.com.
God, I love that song.
Chills run down your spine.
Yeah. I think chills are running down Basil's spine the other day when they got hammered by Bayern Munich. 7-1?
Yeah, they're still stinging from that one. Mario Gomez had a
and
great game.
And they beat United.
They did. To get into the knockout stages, they beat Bayern 1-0 at
that's right, at home.
St. Jakob Park.
Oh man, have you seen any of those? Oh, we're joined by Vin Coe. Jack's still with us. Hey, we have a couple guests in our studio. Special guests. Gentlemen, would you stand up to the microphone? Tell me your name. Don't be afraid. What's your name?
Hello, my name is John Eisenbeis.
Hello. And your name, sir?
Hello, my name is Max Cheval.
He's wearing a Manchester United shirt.
Good man.
Couple of naturals.
All right, we were just talking about United, though. Or what? I'm sorry. It's time for the O.B. Clark's Game of the Week. Michael.
We're actually talking about City, Manchester City, and Chelsea. They have a game, I believe it's this Wednesday. Originally it was Monday, but I believe it got moved to Wednesday. And this is a very big game because City, I don't know if you saw this, they lost last weekend to Swansea.
Yeah.
United's
in first
United
place. Our
took
guys
over.
right
Yep.
here. Is that unbelievable?
Well,
United has played so poorly.
I think it's United's year. I mean, they've been able to hang in it, and I think they're going to get just a typical United grind
you think
it
that
out.
too, Vin?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, titles are really built on the games where you're down and you don't look like you're going to win,
Right.
but you manage to pull it out of the bag. Yeah.
And that's Manchester United's
And
forte
it helps,
for sure.
It helps always to have those 87-minute penalties at
The
okay,
5 minutes
so
of stoppage time.
back to the O.B. Clark's Game of the Week. You know, we ought to be talking more about O.B. Clark's because it is
Center of the universe, as
Center of
we
the
established
Universe,
earlier.
and it's St. Patrick's Day.
It is, yeah. Wow, we didn't even talk about that.
Stunning.
Yes, but last time these two teams met, Chelsea won 2-1 at Stamford Bridge. Frank Lampard scoring the game-winning penalty kick, and it's actually, I think it's going to be a similar meeting because last time Chelsea had just come off a big win in the Champions League, beating Valencia 4-0 at home to get into the knockout stage, whereas Manchester City had just been knocked out of the competition. This time around, you see Chelsea with a big win against Napoli on Wednesday, 5-4 on aggregate, 4-1 on the night.
I missed that game because I was on the beach. What did Chelsea look good?
They did. They looked more united than they did under Andre Villas-Boas, and you've heard a lot about the senior players really kind of running the show at Chelsea and getting Villas-Boas fired, and whether that's right or not, whether that's a good thing or not, I don't think it matters right now. I think Roberto Di Matteo, the interim manager, would do well just to let the players run the show because I think they're going to get him the farthest, and he'll take the credit for it, really.
You don't think the Chelsea guys are too old?
Not for this year. I think you look at guys like Frank Lampard, I think he's still got it. John Terry can still lead. Drogba's still a handful up top. I mean, Essien still a great player. So they have a really strong spine. And they didn't look like a team with Villas-Boas at the helm.
Well, you know, I've got blue jeans older than ABB. I mean, was he 34?
Something like that.
He wasn't any older than. How old's Lampard? Like 45 or something?
I think Lampard's 33.
Oh,
but,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think Chelsea could be a real handful for City in this one.
Hey, okay. Let's jump to Vin. You got a game for us today, right?
Yeah, today at 12:30, Bolton versus Tottenham Hotspur. Tim Ream, St. Louis's own,
our
is
guy,
playing against Spurs. And it's going to be a huge game because Spurs currently in third place in the Premiership. They haven't won a league game in over a month now. They've been drawing a lot. Their last 5 games, they've won 1, tied 3, and lost 1.
And they're still in third place.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They're still trying to make that push, but if they can't make 4th, it's all for naught. So they really got to fight this out for the West.
And Vin, where will you be watching that game?
There's only one place that I would ever watch a game.
Yeah, because you know how to run the TVs. Jack, have you ever seen the TV situation? Well, you know how great the TVs are at O.B. Clark's, but the back room where you go, you know.
Oh, the dungeon back there. It is. Well, we had when we had our little event for the IMAF before we went to Honduras, we had changed some of the screens to show some slides, and it's the nerve center.
That's why you should have Vin there at all times. I've been going there for years, obviously, trying to figure out how to work these things. Vin comes first. Oh, yeah, I'll figure it out. He takes his phone. He videos Jimmy going through all the various mechanisms, you know. I mean, and the next time we go, Vin gets the game on.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's an amazing situation.
Strong work.
Come on. And then tomorrow is what? There's a game.
Yeah, tomorrow at 11 a.m., Liverpool versus Stoke. That should be a really good game.
Oh, Stoke 4-0.
The Potters,
Clearly,
the mighty Potters.
The mighty Potters. And then you were saying also, I forgot completely, MLS started this week. We never even talked about that.
The MLS started this week. I mean, huge host of games. Also, the CONCACAF Champions League.
That's a joke. I mean, that is a joke. You see these games, there are like 50 people in the stands.
Oh, well, I mean, I watched the Toronto FC LA Galaxy game, and there was a huge crowd there at the Home Depot Center.
I watched a couple of minutes of that just to watch Tommy Meyer.
Oh, yeah.
Played center back at SLU, St. Louis U High, where I go to high school, and he played in that game. He looked pretty good, actually, I thought. Sprayed some long balls across the field. So I did watch a couple minutes of that game.
Folks, there's the music. It's time to end the O.B. Clark's Game of the Week. You're listening to the Soccer Show, the STL United Soccer Show. KFNS 590 The Fan. KFNS.com.
Now, back to the STL United Soccer Show on 590 The Fan, KFNS, and KFNS.com.
You know why we use that song for the Dutch Touch Coach's Corner?
Is that a Dutch song?
It is. It's actually, I spent hours looking, Google Dutch music, blah, blah, blah. And this is the one song that I recognized that I could come up with. Hey, it's time for the Dutch Touch Coach's Corner, brought to you by Sam's Steakhouse. You ever been to Sam's?
I've been there a couple times with my family, just for birthdays and such.
They let your family in?
Surprisingly.
Standards have dropped. No, I'm joking. What a great place. What great people. Terry is actually on the trip.
He is. He's in Holland as we speak.
Now, you've done that trip.
I have. Probably about 4 years ago now. I went over there for about a week and a half. It was not during my spring break, actually, so I got to miss some school.
Oh.
That was really fun.
Oh.
But it was a really great experience for me going over there. Traveled to many different cities in Germany for about a day. Big cities, little towns, saw the windmills. Had a really great experience of Holland.
Yeah, those windmills are something. Holland,
really are.
If you've not been to Holland, it is, or the Netherlands,
Netherlands.
It is an unbelievable country.
Yeah, unbelievable.
The people are so open.
For sure.
They're not overly nice, but they'll knock you down in Amsterdam on their bikes.
Oh, yeah.
You really have to pay attention. But what a wonderful country. I'm going to interrupt for 1 second because Dr. Jack is with us, and he's getting texts, so we have to tell people, hey.
How about that? We're sitting here, and two gasmen.
Oh, my God. More snotting. What was it? Snotting.
Wax.
If you're a gas man, you put people to sleep for a living. And,
someday I will come to you.
Dr. Mike Lasky, one of my colleagues down at St. Louis University, just sent a shout out, and he was actually talking about drugs with his kids and the problems in Mexico, and we're listening to the radio show and said they were thrilled to be hearing us all talking about these things. And then I also got a little shout from Les Thean. Les is a nurse anesthetist who I've worked with for years and an outstandingly talented individual who has been going to Honduras with our team for about 6 or 7 years and has done a fantastic job down there. So shout out and a thanks to those guys for listening and for all the work they've been doing for us.
And before we leave this, real quickly, I saw a show last week on, I'm pretty sure it was Nat Geo, National Geographic Channel, about the Mexican drug problem. Folks, if you're just a tourist going down to Mexico, you had better be paying attention. This is a narco state.
It's dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
It's dangerous in all these places, and you have to be aware all the time and stay 2 steps away from harm.
Yeah, amen. All right, well, let's now that we have that out of the way.
Transitioning back to the trip, one of the highlights for me was definitely seeing some games over there. We saw PSV play Vitesse. And
Whoa. PSV.
Well, I mean, you got to pronounce it with the accent. I mean,
but, you don't hear me saying Real Madrid.
PSV versus Vitesse in Eindhoven, and that was really cool. PSV is a real big team over there. Yeah. We also saw De Graafschap play Heerenveen, and that was right after Michael Bradley had left Heerenveen, so I was kind of disappointed we didn't get to see him, but there were 2 really great games over there.
In terms of being, how old were you when you went?
I was in the 8th grade, so that was probably about 14 years old.
That was your first trip to Europe?
Yep.
First trip abroad?
Yes.
Okay, but what did that do for you just in terms of that whole experience? It opened your mind up a bit?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you realize kind of how small your world is living in little Richmond Heights.
Yeah.
When you go over to a different country, different language, different kinds of people. It was really good to just really get some world experience at such a young age.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Vin?
Yeah, I think that's really a great experience for anybody. I mean, going abroad and being able to see the game that you love.
Eye-opening. Yeah. 12 years ago, my first chance on one of these trips, we went to Peru. Went to the Estadio Nacional and watched the game there. Unbelievable. A little crazy down there. They had bottle rockets and Roman candles in the stands.
Yeah. I was talking to a guy, where was he? I believe he was Russian. I was on yet another trip with my wife. I believe we were in Madrid at one of these big meetings. And I'm talking to this guy. I'm introduced to him as Alex from Milwaukee. And I was explaining to my friend, who is other friend, who's a hockey guy, about the difference in soccer and hockey is that, you can go anywhere and people will talk about soccer if you know a little bit about the game. This Alex from Milwaukee gets right in my face. I mean, right in my face. And he says, Kiev. Kiev. Oh, Dynamo Kiev. Sergei Rebrov. Shevchenko. The guy grabs me in a bear hug. Like we were, like long lost brothers. Since then, we're like best friends.
Yeah, there was some hostility over there, though. Dr. Eisenbeis was talking about it's a little crazy in the stadiums. One girl tried to walk in with an Ajax hat into PSV's stadium.
Big mistake.
The steward told her she had to take it off or there would be trouble.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was a charged atmosphere outside the stadium. It was a little tense, but the trip overall was great. Played some games against some local teams.
What did you learn in that?
You have to be physical. More physical than you would think.
I've heard your dad talk about that. That the same thing happened to him. He was stunned how physical the game was.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked at first, but it wasn't dirty. It wasn't cheap at all. It was just it was smart. Yeah, and it was a good way to play, and it was effective.
So what you're saying is that for the next Dutch Touch camp, sign up, go over, and you'll get smarter.
For sure.
I mean,
what it boils
down to.
Yeah, you'll be a better player with a bigger world view.
And if you want to take this trip, the best place to go to plan it would be Classic Travel and Cruise, right?
Oh, for sure.
Vin, what are you laughing about?
No, it's just
trying to clear your throat.
Clear my throat.
Okay, well, we are about at the end of this segment. You've been listening to the Dutch Touch Coaches Corner, absent Terry Mickler, but we'll be right back. KFNS, KFNS.com.
Back to the STL United Soccer Show on 590 The Fan KFNS and KFNS.com.
Okay, you're back on the Soccer Show. Before I take one further step, I must remind you that when we were talking about the Dutch Touch Coaches Corner, I just was texted by my lovely bride, Sally, to remind me that my daughters are on their way to Holland. Okay, that's out of the way. Hey, it's time for the St. Louis Lions Soccer Board. Asim the Dream, unfortunately, is not here. God only knows where that man is. He did tell me he wasn't coming, but he usually reads it because Asim is associated with the St. Louis Lions. They're a PDL team. Folks, this is the only team in St. Louis. You got to get behind it.
Got to come out and support the Lions.
Oh, yeah. The atmosphere that they have is great.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Vin, let it rip.
All right, well, there's only two Premiership games today. They're both about at halftime right now. Fulham versus Swansea. Swansea has the edge over there, 1-0. Then there's Wigan Athletic versus West Brom. They're 0-0 at the break. And this is because the FA Cup's going on, and there was an earlier FA Cup game Everton versus Sunderland. That ended in a draw with Tim Cahill and Phil Bardsley snagging a goal for each team. So that goes to a replay, and they'll play on the reverse leg at the Stadium of Light, I believe. And then the upcoming game is Spurs versus Wanderers, which you'll be able to watch at O.B. Clark's.
O.B. Clark's, they had that game.
Yeah.
Jack, I hate to keep bringing this up, but you do know where O.B. Clark's is.
Center of the universe.
Thank you very much. Okay, Vin, got any more scores?
That's it for today.
This has been the St. Louis Lions scoreboard. I'm sorry, folks, we're doing everything on the fly this week. I want to tell you that this segment is brought to you by our friends at Johnny Mac's Sporting Goods, your home team store. Tell them that you heard about them on the soccer show. Hey, Michael, you want to talk about the Champions League, right?
Yes, they made the draw for the quarterfinals and the semifinals yesterday, and came out with a really interesting bracket. On the left side, we have Real Madrid versus Apoel. Apoel is from Cyprus.
God, that's going to be tough.
The first team ever from Cyprus.
Beat?
Lyon.
Lyon?
Yes.
Oh. Whoa. Wait a minute. We have a Lyon fan in the stadium. Oh, he's shy. He's getting a little shy. Not so much a Lyon fan anymore. Okay, Michael. But, I mean, a team from Cyprus.
Yeah, so that's the Cinderella story.
Do you know anything about them?
Not really, to be perfectly honest.
A real wealthy owner or something.
I'm not really sure. Yeah. But on the other side, the other games in that bracket, Bayern Munich versus Marseille. Marseille knocked out Inter Milan real late in that game, 90-plus minutes.
That's always great.
Yeah, a dagger to the heart.
My favorite time of the year are when the games have the score and then the aggregate score at the bottom.
Right, for sure.
I love that.
So potentially you could see a semifinal between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, which would be a really open game, high scoring probably, although Jose Mourinho at Real Madrid might do something to close that game up.
And I'm tempted to say that would be, that's a gimme, but after watching Mizzou last night.
For sure.
Wow.
On the other side of the bracket, we have Chelsea playing Benfica, and you shouldn't underestimate Benfica because they gave Manchester United 2 really good games, and they actually topped the group that Manchester United did not qualify out of. So Benfica will be a sterner test than some people think. And finally, the premier tie of the round, you have Barcelona versus AC Milan. They met twice in the group stage.
AC Milan's, aren't they leading the Italian league?
They are a couple points ahead of Juventus. Milan tied Barcelona 2-2 in Barcelona and then beat Milan 3-2 in Milan. So that should be a pretty good matchup. I'd probably see Barcelona-Chelsea in the semifinal if I had to guess. And you could potentially see Barcelona-Real Madrid Champions League final, which would be crazy.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. Who'd you take there, Jack?
Real Madrid.
Going for a bit of an upset.
Yeah, my good buddy Salvador Martos from Madrid is my neighbor. And, obviously he was very pleased with the last World Cup.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, watching them. But, the deal is that everybody says about Barca is that it's basically you're watching Spain.
Right. Pretty much. Although they prefer to be Catalan.
Sure.
They don't want to be Spanish.
Have you ever been there?
Barcelona, yes. My wife and I went there a couple of years ago for
great city,
unbelievable city.
It's the only place I've been all over Spain. My sister-in-law lives in Madrid. She's lived there 35 years. I've been all over Spain. Barcelona is the only place where it is no advantage to speak Spanish. I mean, they look at you. I mean, Jill's Spanish is perfect, and they looked at her like, not here.
Exactly.
I love Barcelona.
Yeah.
See the Catalan flags waving at all the games.
Yeah. Well, during Franco's era, the only place you could speak Catalan, now this, obviously I wasn't there, but I've read this a number of different places. The only place you could speak Catalan was when you sang at Camp Nou, you sang the Barca theme song.
Really? Wow.
Fan song. Yeah, because, it turns out Franco wasn't such a great guy. A lot of people love him. Maybe your neighbor loves him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know a lot of dictators, but...
See, that's the difference in me and you, Jack.
Too good. Well, hey, Tom, I want to thank you. Thank you very much for all the things you've done for our group, the International Medical Assistance Foundation, and for your enthusiasm and for reaching out to your soccer audience. And then thank them also for their interest, their enthusiasm, and for their donations. We're making a little bit of a change every day down there in Honduras, and kids right now are running around with these St. Louis soccer uniforms on and have a big smile on their face.
I'll tell you who I want to thank. I want to thank our sponsors. The sponsors are the people that are putting this show on. You like soccer? I don't know. You may or may not like us. I mean, that's,
It's up to you.
Yeah, well, yeah, it might be a tough call, maybe not. But there is nowhere else in the St. Louis airways that people are talking about this except here. And the reason for that, Michael?
Our sponsors. We have great sponsors.
We have great sponsors.
Great support.
Come on. Vin, what's up? Hey, tell me about your the STL. I want to call it I'm going to call it the STL United pickup because
Yeah, we're doing really well. We have our Tuesday and Thursday games started, and we're continuing with that.
But don't you have a team playing?
Oh, yeah, we have an indoor team that's playing for the Veta Championship at Soccer Dome this Wednesday. It should be awesome.
Okay, we got to go. You guys got anything to say? Mr. Leone, you got anything you want to say? No? Okay. All right, folks.
John,
Jack.
Max, thanks.
Jack, thank you very much. Michael, once again, thank you.
My pleasure.
Vin, my man. Oh, there's the beeper. Thanks for listening, folks. STL United Soccer Show, KFNS, KFNS.com.